So, basically, I decided to just basically do a random video talking about, Disney attractions, everything at the Disney parks, etc. I mean, everything will be explained, about this video at the end, and just, yeah, everything will be explained as I'm trying to say. So, basically, I'm just going to be talking about some attractions that come to my mind, and I probably won't talk about every single attraction, etc. But if you want to see me do another one of these, and yeah, I'd be happy to do another one. So, but anyway, so I don't know exactly where to start off, but and you know what? Who knows how long this video is going to be as I'm recording it? But you guys know how long this video is, and as you're watching it, so Okay. But anyways, so yeah, so with that being said, let's get right into it. So, where do I want to start off exactly? Well, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe say, you know what, let's start with, say, Tomorrowland, like, some attractions there. Well, basically, because, for example, I'll start with, because whenever me and my family, we've gone to Disney, we sometimes start with Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. And, that's a really good attraction. And, because with, before Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, it used to be an attraction called If You Had Wings, but it went through many names, but If You Had Wings was the only name I can remember for that attraction. But from time to time, the name would change. I guess a few changes to the ride would happen. And that wasn't until, officially, around 1998 when Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin came in. So, yeah. And, and even the track itself is still the same from what it originally was, But yeah, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, it's a really fun attraction in Tomorrowland. Shooting aiming for the Z's and, seeing Buzz Lightyear and the Evil Emperor Zurg on there is really fun. And also next door, just across from Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, you of course have the Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, which, originally, before Laugh Floor, it used to be Timekeeper, which starred the late great Robin Williams. He voiced the robot, which being Timekeeper. Basically, all it was just movie screens or whatever, showing running the show and such, but along with some animatronics appearing, like Timekeeper, for example, and one animatronic robot that would, like, time travel and such, that floats, and even we get the appearance of Jules Verne, like, Jules Verne gets time traveled by accident, the attraction closed and it was changed to the Laugh Floor, and the Laugh Floor is a fun show, because the monsters interacting with you, telling you jokes, that kind of stuff, and probably Buddy Boyle is probably the funniest monster in the Laugh Floor, and, you can text your joke and such, which is really cool. I know that there are times where, they just couldn't get your joke in, so, But yeah, also next door, across from the Laugh Floor, used to be Stitch's Great Escape, and before that it was the Alien Encounter, and in that, because it was kind of very scary and such, and it was entertainment for adults, and too scary for young kids, It's pretty obvious that, kids would be terrified of that. But of course it was changed to Stitch's Great Escape, and, there were some, like, little kids that would be terrified of it, especially not to mention because one part of the attraction, because in this third showing of the attraction, because there's show number 1 with, there's the TV screens, then the second show you have 90210, and along with what was left of Alien Encounter, Skippy, the animatronic alien, and the donut guy, because originally it was Skippy who's in that tube as well, and actually an animatronic of Skippy being burned, but yeah, and the third showing with Stitch, because there's one part where, it would just be pitch black, and sometimes a few lights would go off, glitches or electric, whatever, but yeah, I always liked that attraction. Me and my family always loved that attraction. It's a shame it got closed, and all that was left of it turned into a meet and greet, Stitch's Encounter. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. But not only that, you also have one of Tomorrowland's best attractions, Carousel of Progress. And everybody, and I'm kind of with them too, like, it should have a refurbishment and update and such, but it would be a bit of a shame because I would still love to have the voices of Gene Shepard, who voices the Carousel Progress dad, and a lot of people would know him best for being the author and narrator of A Christmas Story. And I'd also love for them to keep Mel Blanc, who voices Uncle Orville, and the parrot that goes, she keeps that thing going all day long, progress, rah, that, and Rex Allen, who was the original voice of the Carousel Progress dad, but then he's now the voice of the grandpa in the fourth and final act of Carousel Progress, not to mention the fourth and final act of Carousel Progress, like that room, for example, needs an update, so, but also, what else, but, yeah, even with Carousel Progress, I've seen those videos, the Carousel Progress having its malfunctions, and with its animatronics, the audio not being synced in, man, it's hilarious and just unbelievable. Even when, say, it wouldn't be rotating, yeah, it's just crazy. But anyway, so, yeah. But overall, because Carousel Progress, it was Walt Disney's personal and favorite attraction, and yet his name's in the title, Walt Disney's Carousel Progress. So, okay, so moving on, you even have the Astro Orbiter. I think I've only been on that once. Like, me and Little Blue, we went on that once. It was really fun. You have to go on, an elevator to get up there. You get really good views from, Magic Kingdom and, the resorts, just really fun. Also, you have, the Tomorrowland Transportation, or as it's called, as we all know it, the People Mover. Yeah, that's really fun too. And also because I've been on there a few times. In fact, well, I've been on there, say, when it's broken down a few times. Even one time when me and my mom, we were on there, we got up to, we're going inside and going through Space Mountain, and right as you come up to the words Starport, or whatever the heck it says, right as up you hear a voice saying, paging Mr. Tomorrow, or something like that. We got stopped there, and the lights came on, the work lights or whatever, and I remember getting this on video. It was on a camera I have and such, and I should probably upload that on YouTube, but which actually has one of my finger puppets, Croc, one of my puppet characters, Croc, he's in it, so, so that happened, but unfortunately we didn't have to get evacuated or anything. The ride just resumed. I don't think I've ever been on an attraction where you have to be evacuated. I don't think I recall that happening to me and my family. I just don't. But I do know this, because jumping right into Fantasyland, well, just very quickly, I'm forgetting I'm forgetting Space Mountain. Yes, really fun, but yet it's almost half pitch dark. There's a bit of lighting in there, but you can't see where you're going, and you don't know when to expect the drops. But I do, at least mostly one. When you get up to where there's a bit of lighting, you expect the drop. So, But anyways, and also Tomorrowland Speedway, yes, that's a fun one too, Speed towards the checker flag and in your very own race car, as the narrator of the People Mover would say. The gift shops there, yeah, they're really good too. Even there are two that are connected and that are part of the exit to Stitch's Great Escape. And what's really cool is that one of the exits to Stitch's Great Escape You make your way into Mickey Star Traders, I think that's what it's called, yeah. And you'd see some wanted posters or something, of the experiments. Not to mention the other gift shop that where I think it's part of, yeah, it's because like a giant, like a statue, a figure of Stitch hanging upside down like he broke through the ceiling. Yeah, and there's even a mural of like the experiments out in Tomorrowland. So, but also, okay, because what I was saying was, jumping back to what I was saying, because the only, like, I remember this, in Fantasyland on the Peter Pan ride, me and my family, we got stuck for a little bit. I wouldn't say a little bit. I don't recall us being stuck there that long, but right up to where before you get off and, like, you see the mural or picture of the Jolly Roger flying and such because of the pixie dust, we got stopped right there, and even if you look behind your pirate ship, you can see Captain Hook and the Tick-Tock Croc, and even the audio went off, so, for a couple of minutes. Again, I don't recall us being stuck there that long. Also, right next, I want to say, well, yeah, I mean, somewhere next door to, Peter Pan, I can't really remember, but, Mickey's PhilharMagic. Now that's a pretty good attraction too. Because of a 3D show, and yeah, just it's really cool. And with the Disney films from The Lion King into The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Peter Pan, Beauty and the Beast, I almost said Phantasmic, Fantasia. Yeah, really fun too. And also, what else? Oh, yeah, also, because Snow White's Scary Adventures, like, that's a classic and a fun attraction, even, before it got replaced with a princess meet and greet, But, we have, with the exception of Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, it was basically, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was basically the next chapter for, like, the Snow White characters, or whatever, because of the Snow White characters in the Disney parks, if you know what I'm trying to say. But Snow White's Scary Adventures, it was a beloved and a classic attraction, and, because, looking, and even, like, there's a couple of videos I've seen on YouTube where it would break down and such, like, some audio would still be on, and the lights would be on, even one video where, like, riding through the attraction with all the work lights on. Yeah, well, the work lights on, and you can hear a little. The audio's a bit quiet, like in some scenes. But the Princess Meet and Greet that's now there, I've been through there once, and that was when I met Elsa and Anna. I remember that. Even inside, there's like portraits or something of the Disney princesses, which that's really cool. But yeah, also one of my favorite attractions in Fantasyland, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. That's a great one, and not to mention because that was the final piece of Winnie the Pooh. Whatever I'm trying to say, if you know what I'm trying to say, where the original voice of Tigger, Paul Winchell, would voice Tigger, and which being in The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which that was really cool. For that being his, one of the last things he did, voicing Tigger. So, but yeah, so, but of course, like, you can also hear, you can hear Tigger, like, giving out the spiel, and even when it breaks down, you can hear him, like, saying, we seem to be stopped, and that's Jim Cummings, Tigger, so, yeah, and I remember this because, like, the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, it used to be the Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and, like, at least one piece of the track still remained. The parts, like, where you're bouncing, and when you come into the scene with Tigger, and where your vehicle is, like, bouncing, that used to be, when it was Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, it used to be, like, you're going over logs, basically, as to what my parents told me, so, and not to mention, because, when it had been said that Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was closing, there was, like, group of people, like, like trying to save Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. They were in green t-shirts and like an airplane or something flew by, with words, don't close, save Mr. Toad, But anyways, also, okay, and with Fantasyland, It's a Small World, can't forget about talking about that. That's a great attraction as well, a beloved and classic attraction. It's really cool because even outside, whenever it would say be 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whatever, the clock would come out and show you the time and such. That's really cool. Yeah, one of my favorite animatronic figures in there is the Panther with the umbrella and such. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Um, and also, oh yeah, because New Fantasyland, for example, can't forget about that either. You have one of my favorite attractions, one of my other favorite attractions in Fantasyland and in New Fantasyland, the Little Mermaid attraction. That's a really fun one. Even the out because not to mention because in Magic Kingdom you have three castles. You have Cinderella Castle, you have Beast Castle, and you have Eric's Castle. So that's really cool. And yeah, and also the Beauty and the Beast section. Yeah, because Be Our Guest restaurant and Gaston's Tavern really cool as well. You even have Enchanted Tales with Belle, which is really cool. And also, because of New Fantasyland, the circus section, the storybook circus, that was because that was open before the rest of New Fantasyland opened. Before Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid, and even before Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So so yeah. With two Dumbo rides being there and the update of Barnstormer, really cool, and the gift shops as well, yes, and the meet and greets, and oh man, what else? Well, okay, and jumping into Liberty Square and Frontierland, can't forget about the Haunted Mansion, of course. That's a fun attraction as well. Because even its gift shop as well is really cool, and yeah, and I'm trying to think because I also remember going on the Haunted Mansion a few times during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and that's a perfect that's a perfect attraction to ride on during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Am I right? Not to mention that the cast members there, they would be ghostly dressed, if you know what I'm saying. Really well done. That fits perfectly because of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And also the Hall of Presidents. The only Hall of Presidents I've been in, well, of its president was the version with Barack Obama. That was the only one I've ever been to. So, I've ever seen and, well, I've ever done, if you get what I'm saying. So, which I think that version is actually pretty good, because with Morgan Freeman and how it's, because throughout most of the show, it's just the screens, and I think it was really well done how they did that, with the story and such of the presidents, and with Abraham Lincoln, but anyways, so, okay, and, yeah, not to mention because they've even had this, great moments in history with the Muppets. That is pretty cool. It's really cool they have something else. Disney did something else with the Muppets, besides Muppet Vision and Muppet Mobile Labs. I'm pretty sure they're still doing that, I think. I mean, I don't see why not, because at least still keep that, because, having a character or somebody roaming around the parks is really fun. Whatever that's called, because I remember you have that. You even had, say, Lucky the Dinosaur, he would carry a wagon or something. There's a name for those characters, that would roam around and such, animatronic or whatever, Not to mention over at Epcot, the restaurant in the Paris section, they used to have Remy there. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a name for that, for the animatronics that would roam around and such. I can't remember right now, so, but anyways, so, okay, jumping back to Liberty Square, I love, because with its restaurants, like, I love that one fast food restaurant that's across from the Haunted Mansion, and right before you enter in Fantasyland, I forget the name of that, but it's like it's like themed to, like, the seas and such, like, there's a second floor, I forget the name of that restaurant, but it's, you're looking at it on screen, so, in this video. So, and you would even get a good view of, say, Liberty Square, and you'd see the Mark Twain Riverboat, or even the Haunted Mansion, so, yeah, I like that fast food restaurant there. Also, because jumping from Liberty Square and leading up to Frontierland, Frontierland, for example, because can't forget about, say, the Country Bears. I mean, come on, the Country Bear Jamboree, love that. It's a popular and beloved attraction there, with its bears and the three heads, Max, Buzz, and Melvin. They used to do this as well. It's a bit of a shame they stopped doing it, but they used to have their holiday edition. They used to have the holiday version of Country Bears, and it sucks that they don't do that anymore. It'd be great, especially not to mention when the Bears had their update, their refurbishment. Get it? Because I got that from some cast member giving the behind the scenes of Jungle Cruise refurbishment. But it would be great. I'm sure there is a reason. I don't know. Just like, say, how Disney World's Haunted Mansion never received a Haunted Mansion holiday theming, with The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a real shame right there. Because look at what Disney World does during Halloween and Christmas. Give me a break. But I did learn about this, and especially from the YouTube channel Yesterworld, they did a video that some cast members did sneak in some Nightmare Before Christmas stuff in there, which that is spot on right there. Well done. Very cool. At least that's all we get. I guess, of Nightmare Before Christmas being in the Haunted Mansion. So, I mean, okay, because, with Nightmare Before Christmas, we have, of course, Jack Skellington and Sally, I remember meeting them a few times, from how they regularly are, and as I'm about to say, I know I've also met, I've met Jack Skellington as Sandy Claus. That was really fun. So I even dressed up as Jack Skellington when I met him. That was one of my favorite. That's probably one of my favorite Disney memories right there. I even kind of made some friends there. When I was in the line meeting Jack and Sally, there were three girls, and I made friends with them. They liked my costume, They even got in a picture with me, so, but yeah, it's a bit of a shame because, I would have loved to know them some more, and, if they're out there, like, I don't know. But anyways, also, because I really can't remember that much on when I met Jack as Sandy Claus. I really can't remember on that, but yeah, I just don't. I mean, I do remember when I met Jack and Sally when I dressed up as Jack, because how can you forget about that, especially when you're dressed up as one of them, you know what I'm saying? I even remember years ago on one Halloween, my parents, they dressed up as Jack and Sally, and I was dressed up as Stitch, so... but anyways, yeah, and I've only been at Disney World once during Christmas. Halloween, many times. Like, they always, like, okay, my family and I, we had been going to Disney World, we went to Disney, when we would go to Disney World, we would always do it in September. We would always go there in September, and even in September they have Halloween there. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So, and what else? Well, because I was talking about the Country Bears. Because with Country Bear Jamboree, because, yeah, it's, I love that show. Who doesn't, Um, and also, you even have, I've eaten there once, the Long Mile Bar, I'm pretty sure that's how it's called. I've eaten there before. If I remember correctly, Max, Bub, and Melvin, they used to be there, like, when you exit Country Bears and you make your way into the Mile Long Bar, you would once again see Max, Bub, and Melvin, and they'd be singing to you, come on in, telling, letting you know to, telling you to eat at the Long Mile Bar, so, and the rest of the attractions at Frontierland, like you have Splash Mountain, of course. That's a really fun attraction. And you also have Thunder Mountain Railroad. That's a really good attraction. As well. The Mark Twain Riverboat, I think I've only been on it maybe once or twice. I really can't remember, but that was years ago, so, that and Tom Sawyer's Island, I'm not really sure if I've been there before or not, if I've been there or not. But yeah, and what else? Okay, in Adventureland, because you have Pirates of the Caribbean, yeah, that's a great attraction as well. Who doesn't love Pirates of the Caribbean? I remember seeing this, like, when they had the mermaids there, and they had the projection in the water. That was really cool. I got to see that. I even remember saying to somebody, up front in our boat, like, I remember saying to him, like, there's mermaids in the attraction. So I remember that clearly. That was when we were there, like, and when we first got to see the mermaids. So, and not to mention, because, the mermaid skeleton that was there for a while, but as of now, like, they took that out, the mermaids being in the ride and such, which, that's a bit of a shame, but, doesn't bother me, so, not to mention, because the updates it's had from the Redhead and also at Disney, and also in the Disney World version, besides the Redhead, you have this skull that would talk and such and would take your picture. They now do that, and this would be before you go down the drop, so, But also, the Enchanted Tiki Room, yes, that's another great attraction as well. Not to mention, because it also used to be under new management, with Iago and Zazu. I'm one of those few people that actually liked it, to be honest, And also, you had those two birds. You had Morris and you had William, in the pre-show. They were both voiced by, the late, great Phil Hartman and Don Rickles, that's who they were voiced by. And you even under new management, you have the Tiki Goddess of Disaster. When you mess with Polynesia, the Tiki Gods will squeeze ya. And yet the Tiki Goddess would be in, because the attraction, because under new management, it got closed due to a fire and such that damaged some of the animatronics, mostly the Iago animatronic, and Zazu and the Tiki Goddess. But the Tiki Goddess, at least that managed to survive, and what was left of her was put in Trader Sam's bar, at Polynesian Resort. And speaking of which, I've been at Polynesian Resort. I've stayed there a couple of times. It's a really great place, An interesting and a fun fact, at Polynesian Resort, I can't remember the name of the room, but the number of the room, that is, but John Lennon of the Beatles, when he was staying at Disney World and at Polynesian Resort, that's where, in the room he was staying, he signed some papers that would break up the Beatles. Can you believe that? That happened at Disney World. John Lennon, where the Beatles broke up, in the hands of John Lennon, That's crazy. But, yeah, and not to mention, because even at the Contemporary, Richard Nixon, he had his speech, and with him saying, well, I'm not a crook, that as well. Yeah, interesting things that happen in Disney World, just goes to show. Yeah, and also, oh man, what else am I forgetting? Well, Uh, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think. Um, I'm trying to. Well, yeah, I was talking about Adventureland. Oh, yeah, and also the Jungle Cruise. Can't forget about that. I've even been on, say, because again, I was there one time during Christmas, and of course, I got to experience Jingle Cruise. That was really fun. Disney World's version, there's not that much to it. Like only a few scenes that would have Christmas to it. From the campsite with the gorillas, the part with the rhino. There's a bit of Christmas decoration there. And also up to the entrance to the goddess of Shirley's temple. There's a bit of Christmas decorations there, Christmas stuff there. And up to where you would meet Trader Sam, he's dressed up like in the Sandy Claus kind of outfit, and that's pretty much it. They should at least add in some more. Like, take, for example, Disneyland's Jungle Cruise. Oh my gosh, you look at that, they put so much Christmas to it in almost every scene. Why can't Disney Worlds do the same? I don't know. But, I don't know. Obviously, you don't want to be exactly like how Disneyland's is, or, although if I recall, like, I think Disney World's was first, so before Disneyland did the same thing. And as of now, it's just Disney World doing Jingle Cruise. I don't know why. I can't remember as to why Disneyland stopped turning Jungle Cruise into Jingle Cruise. I really can't remember, but But anyways, also you have the Aladdin's Magic Carpet Ride. I've been on there a few times. It's really fun too. Not to mention the spitting camels. Remember those? And even I almost said Trader Sam's. I met the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. That's a really fun thing to do. And I've heard about this. Like, some people they confuse it for, like, say, a queue to a ride. And there's no. It's not a queue to a ride. You're just walking up top, down, down, going back down, of the treehouse, so, yeah, so, and also in Magic Kingdom, you even have, say, the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. That is a really fun game, and that was, I think, if I remember correctly, it was inspired by that midship detective agency, on the Disney cruise ships. And it's pretty obvious, So, yeah. And you know what? The Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom is really fun. So, both that and the midship detective agency. So, because I've been on the Disney cruise, I want to say, yeah, I've been on the Disney cruise 3 times. The first time was in 2011. That was even during when I was celebrating my birthday. I want to say, yeah, my 10th birthday. And then we went back on there the next year, 2012, which my parents and I had said this, especially me and my mom. We were there. We went on the Disney cruise, literally the year of the anniversary of the Titanic. That was funny, and bizarre. In 2011 we were on the Disney Dream, and in 2012 we were on the Disney Fantasy, and that was even. During those years, 2011, that's when the Disney Dream debuted, and in 2012, that's when the Disney Fantasy debuted. So, And then, it wasn't until 2 years later, in 2014, me and my mom, we did the Disney cruise again. This time, we did the Dream again. So, and that was it. So, but going on the Disney cruise ships, they were really fun. I had a great time doing them. And because going from different countries and Atlantis and even Disney cruise, they always go to that. They always go to one place all the time, and that's their private island, Castaway Cay, if I'm saying the last name right. Pretty sure, yeah. And especially on the Disney cruise ships, you have those Disney shows. Love those. And as I said, the Midship Detective Agency, really fun too. what else? Oh, I can't remember. But, the fireworks as well, the aqueduct, some of the places they have, like the play areas or whatever, just, with its meet and greets, like I remember I've met Captain Hook and Mr. Smee on the Disney cruise. Jake from Jake and the Neverland Pirates. That was during Pirate Night. I remember saying to them if they're excited for Pirate Night and like they acknowledged and such. I'm trying to remember. Even the restaurants on the Disney cruise ships, really great. Probably my favorite one have to be the animation restaurant section. That one, the Animator's Palette. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, yeah. Because, with that, like, because they have Finding Nemo there, like, you talk with Crush. I got to talk to Crush. Like, he spotted me, and I told him my name, and I remember getting it on video and such. That was probably during when I had another phone or something. I really can't remember, but also, like, you'd even do this, you would draw something, you would draw your own character or something, and it would come to life, because with the help of Sorcerer Mickey, I'm sure you guys remember that. Okay, guys, time in. As basically after talking about the Disney cruise ships, I basically go on talking about the rest of the Disney parks from Animal Kingdom to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. And yeah, and when I recorded this, I didn't know what to make of it. Like if it was of how long it was going to be and how it was going to come out, and it came out, say, 59 minutes, almost up to 1 hour. So yeah, I think for watching this, as you're watching this, coming out like 30 minutes, etc., that's about good right there. So, but, I'm probably gonna make a part 2 of this, like, not less, I don't think it's necessary letting the rest of the recording, the audio go to waste, so I'll make a part 2 of it. I'm sure you guys would want to see that. So, in part 2, like, I talk about, say, the rest of the Disney parks, Animal Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios, and that's about it. So, but for this, like, man, it's pretty obvious, because talking about Magic Kingdom was the longest, and along with talking about the Disney cruise ships. You could tell I was talking about a lot of stuff in the Magic Kingdom, from each of the lands, and talking about fun facts and when I've gone to Disney, so, but I promise I will make a part 2, and the reason why I make this video, why I decided to do this video, and as I said at the beginning, it's because I thought of doing, a day before special video, for Walt Disney's birthday, because as you know, like, Walt Disney's birthday is coming up, and I have a special video planned on his birthday, and before I finish this video, the last image you're seeing is, a screenshot of me, with a picture of Walt Disney behind me, and I'm holding the Walt Disney Treasures DVD of Your Host, Walt Disney, and yes, and you might be wondering, because why I'm holding it and what the screenshot is, what does it mean? Well, you're gonna find out when the special video I have planned for Walt's birthday comes out tomorrow. Stay tuned.